There's no doubt that there are a number of security challenges in Nigeria today. In 2015, the major security challenge that was facing Nigeria at that time was the Boko Haram problem. Now they multiplied. There is a problem of kidnapping and ransom taking. There is a problem of armed robbery. There is a problem of cattle rustling. There is a problem of conflict. And there's a problem of banditry. They are all disturbing situations for everybody in the country. So I think this problem needs to be handled and sorted out for the benefit and interest of the progress of the country.
It is not self-evident that the security situation in the country is dire, and that whoever is in charge, whether at the political level, at the operational military level, police, the paramilitaries and what have you, nobody seems to know the answer. Now, it is bad enough to have the situation we have security-wise in the country, but it's extremely worse when you have military generals, especially the Chief of Army Staff, playing politics with our national security. That is very bad. In addition also, the attempt to play politics, personal or otherwise, with the military services themselves is backfiring very badly. If you see an institution running well, it is because it is being run in accordance with the norms, the rules, regulation of that service. The idea that you can appoint some generals, allow them to overstay their welcome, to overstay their competence, to overstay their acceptance even by the officer corps and the men in the armed forces is, in my view, a very dangerous thing to do, because frankly speaking, morale is dissolving in the armed forces. Quite a number of things are happening which cannot be explained even by some of the most competent generals we have had in the history of this country.
Well, whatever anybody will say, the response of the government to these things is not adequate. Because if it is adequate, the problem would have been overcome, would have been solved. They are not solved. You remember, I think a year or two, the Chief of Army Staff directed that Kano, the leader of Boko Haram, should be brought to him, dead or alive. It's about 2 years now. Kano is still there, going about his business. He has not been brought before the Chief of Staff, either alive or dead. Is that his security team need to be looked at. They too have done their best, but it is clear that since the problem persists, their best is not the best the country is looking for. So what I would advise the president to do is to look for fresh blood, so that probably fresh blood will come with fresh ideas.
It is not self-evident that the security situation in the country is dire, and that whoever is in charge, whether at the political level, at the operational military level, police, the paramilitaries and what have you, nobody seems to know the answer. Now, it is bad enough to have the situation we have security-wise in the country, but it's extremely worse when you have military generals, especially the Chief of Army Staff, playing politics with our national security. That is very bad. In addition also, the attempt to play politics, personal or otherwise, with the military services themselves is backfiring very badly. If you see an institution running well, it is because it is being run in accordance with the norms, the rules, regulation of that service. The idea that you can appoint some generals, allow them to overstay their welcome, to overstay their competence, to overstay their acceptance even by the officer corps and the men in the armed forces is, in my view, a very dangerous thing to do because, frankly speaking, morale is dissolving in the armed forces. Quite a number of things are happening which cannot be explained even by some of the most competent generals we have had in the history of this country.
Obasanjo is not the only former head of state in Nigeria today. We have General Gowon, who is the most senior. We have General Babangida. We have General Abdusalam Abubakar. We have Chief Shonikan. And then we have Obasanjo. All of them, I'm sure, have been offering their advice to the government one way or the other. But the only difference is that they don't go public. They don't look for publicity, for cheap popularity. What I think the letters that Obasanjo has been writing is self-glorification. He's trying to make himself a hero through a different and, in my opinion, wrong method. All the former presidents have access to the serving president. They have his telephone number. They can call him, seek for an appointment. He will grant them audience almost instantaneously, except when he's sleeping on his bed. So when you have such an opportunity, it is wrong to do it through the media.
I believe in a democracy. People of sound mind who have gone through certain experiences in life have a right to speak up when things are not going fine. Secondly, the relationship between Obasanjo and Buhari, or between Obasanjo and Danjuma and others, is such that certain things should never be made public. And in life generally, if you want to advise somebody because you care about what he's doing, because what he does impacts on you, then you normally advise people in whispers. You don't go to the marketplace and take a tribune and start saying that this and this is wrong, this and that is not right. I believe as a junior officer under Obasanjo and Danjuma, they have unlimited access to him. That I know, and they cannot deny it. And I believe it is their responsibility to go and tell him some home truth and drill it into his head. The following things you do or the certain thing you did are not right and they are not in the interest of the country. And you do that as much as possible. But when you want to reduce your own thinking, which is peculiar sometimes, and decide that you must talk through the head of a sitting head of state, democratically elected, and that he must listen to you and do your own this thing, I think that's unfair. And anyway, one letter may be a little okay. Second letter may not necessarily be useful. And if you go to the extent of writing a third letter, then frankly speaking, it shows that the letter has had no effect.
The statement condemned it because it's not a solution. That is number one. Number two, our constitution has guaranteed to all Nigerians rights and freedom to choose wherever they want to live and to move around freely. Section 4 of the Constitution guarantees us and other freedom of owning opinion, freedom of expressing opinion, freedom of gathering, and so on. They are there, protected by the Constitution. How can you ask people to come back home? Is that a preparation to send also non-Northerners outside the North? Will that solve the problem? I do not support it. I said it, I issued a statement, and I condemn it.
But in the first place, where is the North? The North depends on where you are sitting. For example, somebody in Plateau or in Benue can say, those herdsmen should come to the North, because to them the North will be Kano and Katsina and Sokoto and so on and so forth, right? But then to somebody who is in the Niger Delta, the North will include Benue, Plateau, Nasarawa, and other places. We have to be very careful about making out some of these statements, which on the surface are reckless, even if they are well meant. Secondly, I have always said that as imperfect as Nigeria is, we have no other home but Nigeria. Secondly, that yes, there is a possibility that Nigeria will break up. But the breakup of Nigeria will mean you and everybody else who is a Nigerian today will be diminished. And not only that, every African will be diminished. Every black person in the world will be diminished. If this is what Nigerians want, there's nothing I can do. But the fact of the matter is that nothing should be done, no statement should be issued, which will have the ultimate aim of diminishing this country or calling into question the existence of this country, no matter how imperfect it is.
The killings is virtually all over the country. It's not in parts of the country. Whatever government is doing is not solving the problem. They should change their ideas. They should change their approach. They should look for fresh ideas so that they can succeed in dealing with the problem. But what they have been doing so far have not succeeded.
I'm concerned, if the government has been doing the right thing, perhaps the killings would have stopped. Well, whatever it is, they are not doing the right thing. That's why we are in this mess, in this mayhem. I would like to see the government do maximum consultation, discuss, chat, interact. Perhaps we'll find a solution.